Good morning, everyone. Today is a really big day for me because I'm going on my very first long distance trail ride with a horse to the West Grizzlies in the Snowy Mountains. Our journey starts off here at the Downs' Ranch, which is a reputable trail riding business that offers horses who are physically ready for these adventures and are accustomed to sometimes harsh weather conditions and rough terrain. And our destination will be to a small cabin at the Barrow Lagoon. Here I was just having a little chat with the owner of the ranch, and he was giving me the rundown on what to expect, and he pointed me in the direction of the cutest Appaloosa pony I have ever seen. This guy's name is Charlie, and when I saw him, made sure to give him lots of pets. Before I went out on a trail ride, of course, I had to give him a treat and a little brush just to make sure he was nice and clean. Definitely has had a little bit of spunk right there. So as soon as I got on, gave him another pat. Just wanted to let him know that, I'm gonna be with you for a while, bud. So we're gonna have a good relationship. Brought him out to this little paddock because they don't have an arena there, and I wanted to be more confident when I'm out on the trails and know what to expect. So I just trotted around this little area, and he did not surprise me whatsoever. He's very sure-footed, kind of sluggish, a little bit sluggish, kind of what you would expect with a trail horse. But he did not spook. He was very confident as well, so I felt a lot better with that little test ride here. He just pushed over the gate for me, and I gave him a few pets here just before I went on and checked my map. So here we were starting at the Downs' Ranch and then up through the Cattail Pond, which I would be staying at for a couple hours, and then to the Barrow Lagoon to our little cabin. So here we are off on our adventure. Before even a mile, we came across our first landmark, which was this little river. Not quite sure the name, but I gave him lots of pats through it just to make sure he was okay going through it. And just like I expected, he was perfectly fine, and the water got really deep. Like, I thought he was gonna have to swim through it, but we were fine, and he did great. He did this little prancy thing when he got out of the water, which was very cute. Now, this was my first mistake, so I thought I was heading up to the West Grizzlies. I thought that's what it said. It actually said West Elizabeth, so I was going along the wrong path for like a mile, and then I saw this train station, and I was like, I don't remember mapping that out, so I looked at the map again, and I had been going the wrong way. At that turn, I was supposed to go right, and we didn't. And that turn was several miles ago, so I was so frustrated with myself because we had just lost a lot of time. So I picked him up into a lope so we could get to the Cattail Pond at the projected time. And although we didn't get there at the time I would have liked to, we still got there and at a decent time. So here is the Cattail Pond. This pond is just so scenic and very relaxing, and it's exactly why I chose it as our picnic spot. And of course, Charlie very much deserved a bit of a rest before we got going again. Once I hopped off, I gave him a little brushing because there was literally a cloud of dust coming off of him because we were riding through some seriously dusty terrain. And of course, I had to give him a treat and some cuddles because I was really impressed and proud of how he was carrying me through all of that, even when I was making some mistakes. So I gave myself a little snack and headed back to spend some time with Charlie before we headed out, and we just had a really quiet, peaceful moment at the pond. By the time I got back in the saddle, it was roughly late afternoon, and I wanted to hit the trails again. I did not want to be riding when dusk fell, riding in the dark with wildlife and in a new unknown territory in the mountains in the dark sounds kind of scary to me. So we went back on the trails, and I was feeling very encouraged because we were halfway done with our trail ride, going this way at least. This time he crossed the pond a lot more confidently, and I was feeling better about him. So we went for a little gallop along this hill, and we came across our first snowy area. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the footage from this part of the trail ride. This was probably my happiest moment out of the entire trail ride. We had finally made it to the lagoon, and I felt very accomplished. I'm sure Charlie did too. He took me all the way here. I mean, that's gotta count for something. And across this area, I was thinking about picking up a lope. I didn't really want to lope him through the snow, but I went for it anyways, and it was super cute because he just like picked up his feet. Obviously he didn't want to drag his feet through the snow. It was pretty deep snow, and that was the most interesting lope I've ever sat in my life, and it was very fun. I slowed down here to take in all the wildlife. There were so many different types of animals. Like, there were a lot more elk than I'm used to. There were little bunnies scampering around. There were different types of birds. There was a whole lot of animals in this area. This was also probably in my top 3 happiest moments. My bottom was sore. I'm sure Charlie wanted to rest from carrying me all that way, and I was about to come into my cozy little cabin. And here it is. So it's not exactly what I expected on the inside, and I definitely now understand why it's free. It was literally all frozen over, and I'm pretty sure it might have been a degree warmer than outside. So instead of staying in there, I decided to take some footage of wildlife, and I literally felt like Snow White because I got to have some really close encounters with some animals. And some faraway encounters. Sorry guys, I'm not going to go right up to a bear's face though to get some footage. I know, I'm not that dedicated. When I got back from my exploration though, I took a moment to enjoy the sunset. In the morning though, I woke up to something awful. There was a blizzard storming right outside, and I had to make the hard decision if I was going to actually go home or wait out the storm, and I don't know how long that would take. So I decided that I would just rough it out, had myself a little breakfast, and went out there, checked how bad it was. It was going pretty good, but nonetheless, I tacked Charlie up, and we went on our very extremely tiring and rough journey back. The snow was a lot deeper than the day before, so it was a lot more demanding for Charlie as well. And the storm also had knocked over some tree logs, and we jumped a lot of them for fun, and some of them because we had to. And as if the situation couldn't get worse, a wolf started chasing us. This was literally the scariest encounter I've ever had. Charlie absolutely made a mad dash for it, as you can see. At that moment, we had galloped the fastest we ever galloped on that entire trail ride. Although, eventually, the storm settled down. We all settled down and we got out of the snow. Once we got out of the mountains, the weather definitely died down a bit, and of course there were some after effects like the logs, so I really had to gallop him up this hill to get the momentum to jump it. I felt like he was a pretty good jumper. I was pretty confident with that, as you know, he was jumping through the snow, and snow isn't necessarily easy to jump through, so gave him a few pats of encouragement for this next log. And I probably should have given him a bit more of a good start, as you can see. Yeah, enjoy this bit. There were lots of fallen trees to jump. was a bit cautious of the river here. I mean, I think from everything, he was probably still stunned from the wolf encounter, and all those logs really got his adrenaline up. And as if it couldn't get any worse, again, there was a snake that was trying to get us. Now, if circumstances were normal and we were just going on a nice trail ride, I would have stopped him, gotten off, and walked him. But quite frankly, my adrenaline was high and I wanted to hurry home. Again, the logs were not helping. I think it was making him a little more nervous because it was out of the blue a little bit. I was very high strung though. I was just like, it's been a blizzard, there's been snakes, there's been wolves. What's next? A bear? Is there gonna be like a tornado ripping through? But no, the rest of the trail ride was very chill. Nonetheless though, he really did save me multiple times, and this horse was truly something. Before we got there though, I wanted to make sure he was well groomed and well loved and well fed. So I gave him a snack and we headed back on our merry way. Now the rest of the trail ride I had in 2 times speed, going extra fast because it was getting dark, and you know, I think it would be kind of cool to see how much ground we covered in that little bit of time before we got there, because this was like home stretch, so it was really exciting. We made it back just in the nick of time before night really settled in. I gave him a pat. I was super relieved that we had made it back in time. And you know what? It was probably that wolf attack that we had to just gallop out of there that really got us back in time. So there's a silver lining in everything, right guys? I dismounted a very tired Charlie and I took him back into his cozy warm barn with his friends, and he gave me a little sigh as soon as he got in, like he knew this was the end of their long journey. This was it until the next adventure. I was also getting a bit sad here because, you know, we might not ever see each other again, which is just kind of a sad fact, but you know what, maybe I'll come up and visit him. So I untacked him, took his saddle off. I'm sure that felt amazing. I made sure to give him lots of pets and cuddles because I was gonna miss him, and then I headed out. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. That entire journey was truly surreal. I remember being a little girl always wanting to do giant long trail rides like that one, and it was just a really incredible experience with really high highs and really low lows. But we took some risks and we made it thanks to Charlie over here. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. I will catch you all later in the next video. Bye!
With you, I can be sad with you. Just take my hand and fly up through the dreams where the skies are so clear. With you, I wanna stay with you. With you, I love